start with. All right, so I've recently purchased some new microphones for the studio, and I'm just now giving my product review for you guys so that you know exactly what to expect and what to do if you guys are out there in the world looking. And we're actually using it today. It's going to be the Blue Yeti microphone. I have a red cap edition, and I also have this blackout edition. That's right here. So both of these microphones are the same. So there's a couple things. As you see, I've got this one taken completely off of the stand, and I've got a chuck in the bottom of it. Because, let's just get into it. Let's get it off of the stand that comes desktop stand. You'll pick up a lot of noise, a lot of background noise, a lot of things coming directly from that microphone to you if you keep it on the stand that comes. So, it screws into the side as you see that nice little hole that can go all the way through there. Screws into both sides of the microphone. You take it directly off and you get a kit that's got a chuck that's right. You screw it in and definitely get you a boom arm and put these bad boys on a boom arm so that you can keep them. So there's a couple things that I want to talk to you about here. Now I'm going to use this. I'm going to plug this mic in and turn it on mute so it does not distract each and every one of you guys plugging it in. So this is a USB microphone. First and foremost, talk about that. So a lot of people say you can't get a good sound out of a USB microphone, but that's not true. You can get a good sound out of it, depending on what. This is more of a studio mic, an interview mic, a gaming mic, a review mic. It's not really made to do like live performances. Do some live performances with it on certain settings that's in it, but it's not really made for that. It does have a diaphragm that you can pull out on the inside, and if you do that, it'll change the way that this mic is different. So, all right, let's look. So you see that nice little red light that's flashing? That means that the mic is on mute currently. That's right now as it sits. So if we take that mic off of mute, now I've got it muted in my system, but it's going to be a solid red light for you. Take it. All right, and then you've got settings on the back of your, get it over here. You've got settings on the back of your microphone as you got different patterns. So the one that it's currently on is the one that this black mic is on as well, and that's a heart pattern called a corduroy pattern. It picks up directly what's in front of it. So that's exactly what it's picking up, just me, myself, and I. And if I get loud enough inside the room, I could pick it directly up in front of this mic too, but I'm trying not to do. And then if you look over here on the other settings that it's got available to it, let me just unplug it. I'll show you. So you've got one that's got a complete circle. That's going to be picking up the whole entire room if we were to change. So it picks up everything that's in that circle. So as you see, I moved it over for you guys so you could see there. Then the one that's beside it is left to right. It'll only pick up left to right, not front and back, but left to right. All right, and then on the far end over here, you have a front and back setting. It looks like two little circles going back to back. It picks front and back. That's more of like an interview. So if I had one person in one microphone, one person in, that setting there would be what we for an interview directly. So and that's kind of where we want to stay. So, but as you're gaming, or if you're looking to game with this microphone, want to keep it on a corduroy pattern. You want to keep it in like the heart shape that's in the middle directly here, as I've got it here, as you can see. You want to keep it on that. And then the gain that's on top, the little knob that's on top here, little bad boy here, will control your input into the microphone or the software that you're using that you're gaming to. But you can also change the input and output directly from the software. So currently I'm using Streamlabs. I'm going to give them a shout out. Thank you, Streamlabs, for getting everything fixed. And I can change the volume in Streamlabs to turn it up or turn it down without having to turn my mic up. But if I turn it up here, you'll hear it as well. You can hear me getting a little bit louder as I turn it up. And then the same thing, if I go all the way down, it got extremely dark on you, really low on you. So we're going to try to get it back to where it was, about right there. Somewhere right in there is where we were. And you can tell a difference inside the microphone directly, how close it is to you. So it looks like I'm right on the microphone, or like I'm right above the microphone. But the truth is I've got about a hand's length away from me in the microphone currently. So if I put my thumb out, I can touch my chin with my thumb, and the microphone is still about an inch away from my pinky from where I'm currently sitting on the microphone currently to get the sound that I'm getting. Now you can pull it up. There is tricks. You can pull the microphone up and get it closer to your chin. That's what this pop guard is for, so that you don't catch all your P's and T's and I's whenever you're speaking, and it's catching the pop directly off of your voice and cutting it out directly. I like it a little bit lower because my voice carries. I have a louder voice, it carries, so I put it a little bit lower than being right up on my chin and also covering my face for the camera. So there are some other things that you can use. Let me go into the live scene. You should see the background of my computer here. All right, so this is my Apple. This is what I'm using currently, and I had to download some drivers for this in order to get it to work, but they have software called a G-Hub. G-Hub is for Logitech directly. They use this software in their products, and it should pop up that I've got one Yeti microphone, but when I have them both in, I have to just note the orientation because it'll show the same picture of which microphone I'm using. Double click on that microphone, and it will automatically give you some software to use here for the microphone directly. So you have your blue voice, which I've got it currently set to warm and vintage. I've got it set up there for me. You can change that by hitting blue voice and then going down. So I can change it to an AM broadcast, which it should be coming through live now. And it may be a little bit louder than what it was before. I can put some bass boost into it, so you'll be catching the backside of it. I can hear it coming through the headphones on the bottom now with the bass boost. We've got a broadcaster setting that you can hear directly live with that broadcaster setting here. It's got a classic radio setting. Now, I do like the classic radio and the broadcaster setting a lot. I mean, I like it a lot, but I don't use it near as much. Crisp and warm setting, which is right there, should be coming through directly now. I have an FM radio setting, which is available that you can hear directly now. And then it changes. You can do a voice loud, a voice soft, a low voice that's loud, a low voice that's soft, and the warm and vintage setting that I like using, that I like staying on. But not only does it give you those options to change inside of the G-Hub directly, this is plug and play, by the way, guys. Once you get it out of the box, you plug it in, you download the G-Hub from Blue Yeti software, go to Blue Yeti site and download it. Once you download that, this is all plug and play. This comes standard to you. You have effects that's given to you. So we can sit here, we can make it sound
like an alien directly out of the box. You can turn it into a wild voice, is what they call it.
A DJ robot, which the DJ robot sings.
A demon is what they say. You can change it into a demon.
You can make it into a dream. You can make it
into an electro boost. Hey guys.
You can go into a fishbowl.
You can do high pitch.
You can change it into low pitch.
You can change it into like a haunted scene.
You get a helium chipmunk.
A robot.
Signal. You make it sinister.
You do dual pitch, 2 pitches at one time, and you do have the option to change these right over here on this hub.
Subconscious.
A hit robot.
A whisper.
And you can act like you're in witness protection. But for this,
we're going to turn it off and we're going to act like we're normal now. So they give you a lot of stuff right out of the box. Now, each of these you can change. You can put a flanger and phaser on it. You can put coarse on it. You can add a secondary voice to change it the way that you want it to go through. You can put pitch on it. You can change the ambience by putting reverb, time delay, and ring modulation. By clicking in between these two, pitch and ring, you can change each setting for it directly as it comes through. They also give you the option to pre-record something so you can hear what the microphone sounds like. Hey, man, how you doing? Pre-record something so you can hear what the microphone sounds like directly, and then play it back in your headphones or your software, your computer, through Black Hole or through Sunflower or through SoundCloud or through the Universal Controller, and you can hear it directly through that as well. You can definitely get that. And then they'll give you a sampler of different things as well. Now, on the samplers, like they've got an air raid, which may not come through. You may not be able to hear it, but I hear it. I can hear it directly in my headphones. But they give you different samplers that you can do with different things as well with this microphone. So there was a lot of good stuff. Dude, I am doing great. I hope you're doing good as well. I'm just hanging out doing a nice little review today on the Blue Yeti microphone for gaming and also for my Wrestle Talk with the Arabbidb3aver stuff that I've got going on. Hope you're doing wonderful as well. But yeah, so this microphone has a lot of stuff that's added into it. Comes directly out of the box with this software. You don't have to pay for anything extra. It's coming direct. And then look, guys, if you click up here at the top, it'll take you to ID at Logitech, and then I can sign in, of course. If you sign in with that, it'll give you your options here. Or we can sign in with our Google account, which I'm going to do because I've already got it linked. Boom. So it's going to make me do it here too. Crap, it's not going to let me do it direct. But as you see, you can do this. Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's going to let me do it or not. I think I changed my password too. Yep, I did change my password. Okay, so I'll have to go back through and figure out my new password at a later date. But let's not update the password. Let's close it. Let's go through and go to logitech.com and look for their software though. All right, so as you're here, you see their products and their software that they've got. It's going to offer you some stuff directly, but you can click directly on their microphones, or you can look for their support. And if you do your register with your product and your support center, it'll register it and it'll give you the option to download your G Hub directly from Logitech. So that's the best way to do it and get in, guys. I just don't remember my password, to be honest with you. Yeah, Siri, shut up. Siri is talking to me. That not it? I'm sorry about this, guys. That was not it. Failed credentials. Nope, that's not it either. I don't know what I logged in with. I don't know what my password is. But anyway, once you get here, you can set it up and it'll give you direct. You can click from the software tab that's up top. You can click the G Hub and you can download it directly. Then you can go into Streamlabs and see if you have any promotions available through Streamlabs directly if you're running Streamlabs. You can do the Mixline beta, which is also there, and then the Astro series of software, which is their headsets and all that stuff, keyboards, all that good stuff. Ladies, stop it. I've got 3 little puppies and they're just acting crazy. Hey, how are you doing? Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for coming in and following me. I do appreciate that. But that's how you would find it and how you would find it directly. And I do apologize for the fail here, but that's how you would get it. It's directly through the software tab and then the GTub tab. And it will tell you to download it for Windows or Mac, and you can do either or. And it's just a straight plug and play download. You click on it, it'll guide you directly through it. You'll get everything you need. Now, I can say that their support was 100% awesome, 100% awesome with Logitech. Like I told you, I thought that I had some problems coming directly out of the box with it. My puppies are playing in the background. You're probably going to hear them. Ladies, please stop it. But I thought I had some problems and I couldn't get the software to download, and I had to have them send me a link to this software to get it to download the first time that I plugged in. So that was my story. That may not be the case for you. And like I said, it may have been because the software may have already been registered for this product with the other person that purchased this. I purchased this one used, this black one used. But since I already had the software downloaded, it just was universal with the red one that I've got here, the red canister that I've got here. So it worked great on that front and on that setting and moving through. And we haven't really had a problem since. Let's get back to the just chatting screen here. So as you see, you know, it was very, very, very easy to get into and get through going through. And Logitech sent me 2 different support tickets, and they both answered within, I mean, it was within 30 to 45 minutes of them of bringing my original support ticket up, that I got a call back from the first person. The first person told me that they needed to send this ticket up to a higher level and get it transferred in. And it may have been 10 minutes after they transferred that ticket over that I had an answer. and that they got the driver for me. Once I was able to download that driver, I was able to go directly to and get it directly in. So since then, they have fixed that to where you can download it directly from the site under the software tab, as I showed you earlier in the Logitech. So, I mean, as far as what you're doing with this microphone and what you're doing with this use, it's great. It's a great little thing. We can use it for lots of stuff. You could put this mic, if you kept it on the corduroy pattern, you could actually put this mic in front of a guitar amplifier with the gain really low, probably about here. If you put the gain there, with a guitar amplifier coming through, and it'd pick up everything. It'd pick up every little bit of noise that was going through it, and you wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Or running, moving, downloading, doing anything there. So it would be a great thing for you guys that are out there in the gaming world. Those of you that are out there in real life looking for a solution right now, or a problem you've got, looking for a mic right now that's affordable and on a budget that you can use, definitely get this thing. Between $129 and $149, depending on retailer that you can get it. Now, I got mine off eBay. I got mine secondhand, like I told you, from a guy that bought it and it wasn't what he wanted. So he resold it to me, and I got mine for $75 here. And I've actually bought this red one online on Facebook Marketplace for $40. After I already had all the software and stuff downloaded, I got this one for $40. So you can find some that are in good shape. Now, there is some things that you need to know up front about this microphone. It has a ribbon, it has a diaphragm, not a ribbon. It's got a diaphragm on the inside that opens and closes this mic. So let me go back to my live scene, and I'll move my Streamlabs software over here so I can show you some stuff. So you should see my Streamlabs software right here on the page. Well, right where my mic is, where it's moving back and forth, there's going to be a settings wheel, which my camera is hiding currently. So let me see if I can turn my webcam off. Nope, did not do it. Let me see if I can find it to turn it off. Okay, so I'm off here. Great. So you can see my settings wheel is right there, right here, guys, on the screen. And if I click that settings wheel, I can add a filter. Now, I've got two added to this currently that are working along with the G Hub filter that's open. I click the filters and hit edit filters. I'll show you what I've got. So I added a noise suppression at level -30 onto the microphone to help whatever's going on in the background and whatever's going on right here and all the desk noises and everything. I added some extra suppression on it. I also added a noise gate to it. Now my close threshold is at -32. That's because I have a loud voice. For some of you, you want it to be at 25. For some of you, you want it to be at 28. You just have to play on when it's going to close and when it's going to open. Now, my open threshold is at -26. And like I said, that's because I've got a loud voice. My attack time, I always want it to be at 25. Hold time, you want to hold it for about 200. And your release time between 100 and 150 is usually the normal time that you want to hold your noise suppression and noise gates. But you can add different things through the software. So I can add gain if I wanted to add gain. I could add a compressor if I needed to add a compressor. I could add a limiter, which would limit the amount and also limit the span of that diaphragm opening and closing for me. I could add an expander, which would make that open at a larger rate or a wider rate and do something great there. But that's it, guys. I mean, those are the things that I wanted to show you up front with this microphone, things that you can do with this microphone and things that you could make this microphone do directly, have it sound just as good, if not better, than some of the retail microphones that you have out there on the market today. There are some other things that you can do with this microphone that are a little bit more advanced, but it's going to take a lot more time to explain that. And currently, I don't have the time to do that. But like I said, if we change the settings, which I'll change the settings to let you listen to them real quick. So let me turn the mic around, and we are going to start on the sides. So you can hear me coming in through the sides, and it also put it in like a front and back mode. So it made it uneven on how you're hearing me versus when I'm directly in the center of the microphone. Then if we change it again, come on, a little harder to turn on this one. So you've got that next setting that's right next to that, which is going to be the circle omnipresent pattern. And you should be able to hear some stuff in the background currently coming through as that's moving. Then, of course, we've got that lovely heart pattern that I just had that I like to keep it on because it keeps it directly on me all the time, and it lets it move directly on me all the time. And that's a great thing for me. And then the last one is going to be this front and back interview is kind of where we're going to be here. So this is a front and back interview is what we're going to be seeing here. And as you see, step to the side, you don't get near as quality out of that microphone. The other thing is when you're speaking into this microphone, remember earlier how I showed you this microphone and it had the red light solid for it being on and the red light blinking for it being muted? You want this blue logo and that red light to face you. So, and what I mean by that is I'll show you directly. So it's still going to pick me up because I have it on front and back, right? So you can still hear me direct, but that's for an interview. Like if somebody was behind me, it's going to pick me up direct. But if I was to change that, it would still pick me up a little bit. So let's change it back over one. All right, so we're back on the front mode. But when I turn the mic around, it's able to pick me up, like barely pick me up. So that's why I said, you know, if you're gonna do that and have that mic, let me get it settled back here. I'm sorry. But if you're going to do that with this mic and have it settled directly in, this would be a great mic for you guys to just start with, to learn with, to get going with. And then as you progress into your career, and look, I do podcasting with this mic. I do video casting like we're doing right now. I do video casting with this mic. I do game reviews with this mic. I do a lot of stuff with this mic. It's very, very, very universal for me. I can use it great with this mic. I've done some reviews with it. I've got to get another piece of software. I've got Black Hole and it works pretty good with Black Hole, but it doesn't work properly to me as I see with Black Hole because I get a feedback loop and I can't get the feedback loop out of it. And it could just be me being ignorant or it could be something wrong with Black Hole using it as directly. So thank you guys so much once again for being here. That is actually going to be what we're going to be talking about today. But I got to tell you, I'm absolutely thrilled about this microphone. This microphone has done a really good job in such a short time. Something that you have to play around with for you is going to be your gain for your voice. You want to play around with it. Make sure that it's either loud enough for you or that it is low enough for you so that you can have it direct. So it'd be something for you guys to play around with. Also with the gate, with your filters. And like I said, through Logitech directly. So if I take it back to the on-screen, the live screen here, you're going to see the Yeti pop back up because I didn't get rid of it. But if you play right here, you've got your input and output gain. Now, I normally would go with 100% output on it. But if you have it at 100%, you can create a feedback loop, which will echo and echo and echo and echo. And it'll chain echo is what it'll do. And so I've been playing with it to see what the best output is for this microphone directly. As we're going forward, I didn't mean to mute you guys there. I'm sorry about that. But I've been playing with it to see there. Then I normally keep my input gain going into the software about 25%. And then I just use the knob up here for my regular gain to let me go through as needed. So, and I have a high pass filter on this currently with the Warman Vintage for my equalization, and it's at 40 hertz is normally what we're going through. My noise reduction, I've got it all the way up. I do have my gate at -34 on here. I have my compressor set at -11, so I do have a little bit of compression, but not enough where it will close it out. My de-esser is going to be at -15 decibels. My depopper is going to be at -20 decibels, but you can play around with it for your own voice. Just make sure you're playing around with it for your own voice. And then I've got my limiter set at 6, +6 is where it's at. And that's how I'm getting the sound that I'm getting out of this beautiful Blue Yeti microphone. And I want you guys to be able to get this sound or a better sound out of it so that you know what it sounds like whenever you want to use it, how you want to use it, when you want to use it, and why you want to. And hi, Isis Lucy, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you coming in and following me. Thank you for being here today. It warms my heart to know that you're here. Warms my heart to know that you guys have watched this video, but that's going to conclude our video for today. I just wanted to let you know some things about this beautiful Blue Yeti microphone, and both of them work the same way. USB microphone, it's plug and play. You plug it into the bottom of your microphone, you plug it directly in. Now, there is an older version that has an XLR output as well on the bottom that you can get directly and go through. You can use that direct. There are some tricks of the trade with this microphone that you can use as well. Like, let's say you were wanting to record a podcast and you had a Focusrite. Well, since it's a USB microphone, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to do that unless it will recognize it directly through the software, right? So even if it can't recognize the microphone through the software, there's ways to cheat. So you can get what's called a 3.5 millimeter splitter, which on the bottom of the microphone here, you have a headphone jack. You can plug your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack in there. And if it's a Y splitter, it'll have two signals, left and right. Well, the reason they do that is because, as you notice, let me go to my my live scene here and put this directly in front. So you see that I've got two tabs coming in on my volume right here. Let me block myself one more. Okay. So you see my volume tab that's right here. It's got two lines on it. That's a stereo line that's coming in. So if you used a Y splitter for these, which cost about $23 to $30, some are a little bit more expensive depending on brand, but you can get away with one that's $23 to $30 depending on what you want. You can plug it directly in to the bottom here, this 3.5 millimeter jack. And I have a female adapter, but it'll be a male adapter. I'll show you what the female looks like, but the male will have the opposite ends on it. So it'll be going to a 6.5 millimeter, but this is 3.5 to 3.5 is what I've got in my hand currently. Let me go back to the just chatting screen so we can get you right here to see this. So this is female to female of 3.5 to 3.5, and that's used for a double headset. So if I have this plugged in and I'm podcasting and I have a guest, I can plug it directly into the bottom of the microphone or my output source, as long as I have a 3.5 millimeter jack, and then I can plug my headphone cord directly into another side and it'll have two separate headphones. Well, they also make these that have a 6.5 millimeter jack, which is just a bigger jack of this end here. Then it has two, one that's red and one that's black, the left side and the right side of audio, and it'll plug directly into your audio box, whether it's a Focusrite or a PreSonus or whoever. It'll plug directly in and you can record that way. You can have your audio that's coming through the computer to the microphone going out to the Focusrite and using the Focusrite as your output, or using whatever input source that is as your output. You can do that directly. So that's something that each and every one of you need to know upfront and honest before you get this microphone. That's a way that you can cheat to make sure that you're getting all your input and output sound directly. Another thing here is, let me go back to the live scene and you're going to catch everything up right here. Let me move this back. Boom, it's gone. You're going to see that nice little Yeti there. We're going to minus it. It's going to get dropped down here. But I'm using a Mac. I told you that directly. So under my sound settings, I'm going to have to open up the settings wheel like I just did. Let me get rid of these webcams. Boom, that one's gone. Boom, they gone. All right, so as you see here, underneath my settings wheel, whenever I go down, we have this system settings tab. Click that system settings tab. It'll pop this screen up here. You're going to go down and find sound. So I've got currently my output to my external monitor, and it's outputting everything to this headset that I've got currently on my neck. But you normally would tell it which one you want to go to. If you want to have two devices, three devices, whatever, and you would just select which one there. You need to make sure your input device is also selected to the Yeti microphone that you're using. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem with the microphone going, why didn't it work? Now, Windows is going to be a little bit different, but it's the same principle. You need to make sure that your audio settings are set to the microphone, that it's going to be coming out, and that you have a test for input volume here. Now, as you see, my input is extremely low for it to come into the computer, because once again, you can create a feedback loop into the computer, which will cause a never-ending external echo, even if you're monitoring what you're doing currently. So you just have to be prepared for that and know that it'll do it upfront and honest if you don't watch what you're going through. But that's it. Your input, make sure it's selected to the Yeti. Notice how it says stereo microphone. So stereo is the very important word there, because it inputs left and right. So it goes direct on both sounds all times, left and right side, all times. And your output, now you're maybe asking, why am I not outputting through the microphone directly? Well, because I'm running a monitor, and that monitor will cause a loopback feed. And it's not just a physical monitor like you can see, it's a monitor in the output feed, the output chain. And it's got to run through a different monitor so I can hear myself in my headphones when I speak to you guys. So I can do that with the stereo microphone directly, but I won't be able to monitor it without that feedback loop, constant feedback loop, screaming and clawing and scratching. So that's why we're not running it that way. We're running it through the monitor directly, the display port directly. It's going back through that sound port, back to the soundboard. And there's a little bit of a delay to me from my voice that you're hearing to the monitor directly. And that's just normal. That's just going to be normal, but it's not echoing, not causing an echo, not causing a daisy chain. It's not causing any extra sound or any external sound. So there is some minuses with this microphone directly. We have to talk about that right now, up front and honest. Let's get our webcam back up here. Ow. Let's show that. All right, let's drop this other one down. You okay, darling? Okay. And all the pads you said? I'll get it taken care of here in a minute. So there are some minuses with the microphone. Let's just talk about them just for a second. I told you I got 3 little puppies. They're a menace to society. I'm sorry about that. I got the wrong screen here. So the minuses on this microphone are it has a lot of bad chatter and bad feedback because people don't know how to use the mic properly. They don't know what setting to put it on. They say it's really noisy. It has some problems. And it does have some noise. It does have some feedback that come through, but you can control most of the feedback. And that's why Logitech made the G Hub so that you were able to control that. And also in the software that you're using so that you're able to control the feedback, control the loop, control everything up with it. And it does make a huge difference on how the mic sounds if you're able to control it versus you're not able to control it. So you just know what you're using, how you're using, why you're using it, and do just the research that you need on it. Some things that help me is watching other people with different microphones and watch how that they work the microphone, like I showed you earlier in this cast. If you know where your diaphragm opens, then you know where your voice range can send in. And when your voice range is sending into the microphone, your voice will be picked up properly. You don't want to be right on the microphone. You notice how different that sounds when it's right on the microphone? You don't want to be right on that microphone because what happens is that diaphragm will wear out over time. And you want to have the diaphragm last as long as you can get it to last. So that's why I said whenever you're at this microphone, you want it to be about a thumb with your thumb on your chin. You want it to be right down there with it touching the pinky or about an inch away from your pinky. If it's too close to you, you can wear that diaphragm out. Once that diaphragm goes, this mic will go. So, and you can get probably 10 to 15 years worth of use out of this microphone without blowing that diaphragm. If you keep it on low settings, lower gain settings, you don't have to turn the gain all the way up. And what I mean by that is a lot of people say that it's picking up everything because they have the gain all the way up like this. That may have caused a bad sound for you guys. I'm sorry. But if you keep your gain on a lower level and you keep the externals on a higher level, which what I mean by that is your external software, like your Streamlabs, your computer software, your volume on your computer, it at a higher level, and you keep your output in the G Hub, not quite 100%, but somewhere, like I told you, I've got mine on 75 because I've got a louder voice. My voice carries in it. If you keep your settings where it works for your voice, your audience will find you. Your audience will notice that you're doing better stuff with this microphone, and they'll be able to respond to you directly how you respond to this. So there's lots of pluses with this. Would I recommend this microphone for a first-time streamer? Yes, I absolutely would, especially the way that they set the G Hub up, and especially the way that they have moved the G Hub and made it so easily accessible from when I bought it versus where it's at now. Also, the different versions of the microphone. So they have some that are white, black, red. As you see, I've got a red one right. I've got the black one that I'm talking through. This is my guest microphone whenever they come in to do Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver, or I have Princess Lady K or somebody with me. This is the microphone we use for her. And as you see on the other videos that we do, if you haven't caught it, go back to the YouTube Nerdy Gaming with Arabbidb3aver 132 or on twitch.tv/Arabbidb3aver or at facebook.com/Joseph D. Hughes, as you see at the bottom down there. And really rewatch that stuff and see the difference in the sound. Now, she has a really soft voice whenever she speaks into this microphone, so her gain has to be up a little bit louder on the microphone directly. She keeps it up towards the middle. But that's because she has a soft voice. That will not tear up the microphone if you have a soft voice and you need a little bit extra gain. But if you have a loud voice like I do and you gain all the way up, it will tear this microphone up. Some other good things that are about this microphone that I can mention right off is it's plug and play, guys. I've said that a bunch, but it's plug and play. You can plug this mic directly in. My Mac immediately recognized that there was a microphone plugged into the USB. It automatically knew that it was, and when I plugged the second mic in, it didn't act like it needed two different ports for it, or I needed another USB hub, or have it plug it into a separate USB hub in order to have it go. It recognized both of the mics, and then all I had to do is select the mic that I wanted. When I do a interview session or something in my software over here, let me go back to the live screen. So I had to create two different mic sources. So you see, I've got. Let me drop myself out of this picture again here for you guys. All right. So as you see, I've got the mic source that's showing up here, and then right next to it, I've got guest yeti. I had to go up here to the sources and add a guest yeti in. I had to add a guest microphone, audio input. Clicked on audio input capture. Add source. Then now mine already had it popped up because I already had it set for another guest to come in, but I renamed it Guest Yeti. But audio input capture device is what it'll say. I just renamed it. I clicked it and added add source. Now when I did that, it popped up this Guest Yeti. Now I've got it muted, as you see, and the microphone is off, so it will work there. Now she's a little bit higher than me. I have her output all the way up on this because she speaks once again extremely lower than I do. So she needs to have that volume that's up and active and through on a constant basis. So it does make a big difference on how you use it, how you use the software directly, how you're moving stuff directly, and how you're going through. And then something else is, as you see, I've got different transitions that are available here. And you've got two different moves. I can tell it I want to go to the pause screen, right? So if I hit that pause screen button and hit the transition here at the top, it's going to take a short break on that microphone. You notice that I stopped breathing, but it took a short break, but you guys can still hear me. So when I go back to the live screen and transition directly out that way, and we're back where we need to be on the software again. So it's very user-friendly as far as what goes on with your software that you're using, how you're using your software, how you're outputting, how you're trying to make it go through, how you're trying to get everything to work. But we're going to go back into the original editor, get out of story mode here so you can see everything. You guys got my chat box that's over there for Twitch up there. You can see that directly. And I mean, that just about covers it for this microphone. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this microphone, a lot of stuff directly that can be done with this microphone if you just play around with it properly, and get it set to the way that you need it. And it works the same way if you're using, so let's say you're using another software instead of Streamlabs. Let's say you're using the Elgato software. It'd be the same way. You'd have to put an input source in on it and go through that way. Or if you're using it through your PlayStation or PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, you just have to go into your settings and set the microphone up in your settings. And then it would input or output it directly from there. Now, I don't recommend using it directly through your PlayStation. I recommend using it through a software like this because the PlayStation, even though it has the options for you to control the microphone directly with volume, you don't have the options to put things on it like a compressor or a gate or anything like that. It's plugged directly in to the PlayStation itself. It's running one of the USB ports on the PlayStation itself, and it can actually hinder your voice in a way because you don't have that option to have that limiter or have the compressor or have anything like that to make it sound a little bit better. One of the reasons I went in and showed you that I had a noise gate, compressor, a limiter, everything on that is because those are the settings that make it sound more professional, good. And they've tried to make the microphone be as professional and sound as professional as possible while you're using it. So, hey, there's lots of good stuff there. And it will cause an echo chain or a daisy chain if you're using it in certain software. So I have Studio One that came with my PreSonus Revelator whenever I bought the Revelator. I use Studio One to do my podcast with and do my outputs with and do stuff like that. So whenever I'm using my radio podcast, let's say it like that, my video podcast I use directly like Streamlabs or I use Restream.io to do video. But whenever I'm doing radio podcast, I use Studio One to record it, pre-record that, let it go through, let it run, and then after we're done running and having it to export whatever time being, and I upload it to whatever source is going. Like YouTube just recently accepted me for the podcast. Whenever I go through and do that and let it run through and be accepted and do all that good stuff, it will come back to me and it will tell me yada 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 da 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 this that, and then I'll tell it yes. I want it to send to this one, send to that one, send to that one, and I can send it out everywhere. Well, the microphone is going to be the same. It runs the same settings constantly. It only changes is if something happens inside the software and I have to reset up the way I've got it imported and exported. But nothing else changes. So the question I get all the time is, how do I add it as an input or an audio source to something else? Well, that's very easy and very direct. So I'm going to go right into that and show that to you as well. Back to the live scene. All right, so I've got everything here. Let me move this back. Boom, get this out of here. I've showed you how to put it in on Streamlabs, but let's say you want to use... Let me get out of the universal controller. That was the wrong one. We'll start normally. I had to shut it down. I had to force quit it just a little bit ago. So I have Studio One Artist, as you guys can see here on the screen. So I've got a podcast set up directly where I can just go in and click it and we'll tell it a backup that is. All right. So as you see, I've already got audio source files directly here. So if I wanted to make sure that we were starting fresh with this, we would delete anything that's here because I've already saved and already put it out. I don't have to worry about it. It's going to get deleted. All right, and then we want to go all the way back to the very beginning and make sure that there's no audio on the front line either. And we're going to delete all the audio that's here on the front line. We're going to go down and delete the audio that's down there because we had audio that was already up there. All right, so we're starting fresh here. Now I've got this tool here that's starting to do that. We're going to undo this. Undo, delete. Oh, no. Let's undo these inserts real quick. All right, so we hit this IO button down here on the corner, and it's going to pop up where we're at, right? So it says no audio device selected. So we've got input 1, input 2, and Skype going directly out. Well, how we would set this up, since it's showing that, is you'd hit Start Preferences. You get to this page and see how it says my playback device is a TV and no audio device is selected. If I select an audio device here, I'm going to select the microphone. Now I tell it, okay, now it's probably going to try to change it over here. But the higher the sample rate, the better quality sound it normally is. I do like 44.1 kilohertz per second is what I like mine to sound at. You can do it at 48, 41, whatever sounds good to you. I like my output latency to be 20.9 and 920 samples. And then once you're there, make sure you've got your record buttons on and you can click the record button and go from there. So all your record buttons are on. Now, this one already had an output on it. So there's some channels, extra channels here that we'd have to get rid of in order to do that. In order to do that, we got to click up here on this track. And we need to remove the track. Remove the track. Well, how do you know when to stop? Well, it's really easy. Whenever I get back to the one that says Skype, that's the one that I stop on. Move track. All right, so this is how we would record this. So we're going to stop all the way to the beginning, and we're going to make sure that we have whatever. Hello and welcome to Wrestle Talk. My name is Arabbidb3aver. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I hope everybody is doing wonderful for you. Not showing up a thing. Of course it's not. As soon as I go through the video, it doesn't want to. Let me go to my IO source. All right. We got to make sure that it's on. Boom. Stereo 1 and 2, left and right. And we got a mono source, and a stereo source. Okay. That's my fault. See, now we've got the volume. Let's start that back over. Stop. Go all the way back and record. Hello and welcome to Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. I am your host, Arabbidb3aver. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I hope everybody is doing wonderful today out there in the world of wrestling. I hope that we are going to be having a wonderful show for you guys, and I hope that you guys will be joining me directly. Whatever, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to clip, whatever you want to cut there. Now, it won't play back through to you because I have it monitoring direct through something else. I don't have it monitoring through the computer to play back right now, but it will play back from headphone set whenever I stop it. Listen to it. Go all the way back. Let's see what it sounds like. Might sound really light. So as you see, it will play back for you. It'll do whatever you want it to do. It's just a matter of if you want it to do it and how you want it to do it. But that's how that you guys know we do not want to save. No, we do not. All right, so that's it. I mean, so you can do whatever you want to do with this microphone. It's up to you guys what you want to do. But this is our product review on it. Definitely make sure that you take advantage of the 15% off if you order directly through Logitech for their stuff. Put your email in, get that 15% off. You guys are Streamlabs users. Make sure you're not using your star points for it, because if you are using your star points for it, you're going to be saving some extra money too. They have partnered with Streamlabs to give you guys extra money off as well, including that 15%. You can stack those together, get extra money off this microphone as it. So I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. Kind of wanted to do this product review for you, let you know how I feel about it. Would I buy this product again? Absolutely. I would probably buy another one of these, honest with you, if I had a bigger studio and the ability to have more people inside the studio and come in on a regular basis. When absolutely 100% I would do it in a heartbeat. It would warm my heart to do this in a heartbeat. Make sure that we have this correct for each and every one of you guys. Let me put my webcam back up here. Bam, just like that. Now let's go back into this nice little just chatting screen for you guys so you can see me nice and big here. But I would absolutely buy this thing again. I would do it if you guys are looking to do a home studio, do some podcasting, do recording, this would be a great mic for you guys to get out there and do it. I did on the headset that I'm using a Pecan BG01 series. I ordered this originally off of Temu. I have a set that I ordered off of AliExpress because I liked it so much. So I've got 2 sets of these headphones that are. I've got the review on my page, on my YouTube page, that you guys can go check out the review there as well, if you guys want to see that direct. So that'd be something directly for you guys to see and check out as well. But like I said, hey guys, that's where it's at. So if you guys are looking for a microphone, you're looking to game, you're looking to get in there, you want to do it on a budget, try to find one of these online that you pick up, get it for cheap. Definitely make sure that it's running through. But make sure you get it off the stand. Make sure you get it on a boom arm. That's number 1. Number 2, make sure you download the software for it. And number 3, make sure that you just use it and have a lot of fun with it and make it last a long time. So that's the key, is we want this thing to last a long time for you. We want it to sound great for you. We want it to go through. So whatever you're streaming, you look professional, sound professional, act professional, all that good stuff with this microphone. And you can do that directly with this microphone. It's my pleasure to bring this to you, and thank you guys for being here and watching this today. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here directly. And remember, until the next time we have a show, you guys heard it right here first on Wrestle Talk with a Rabbit Beaver and Nerdy Gaming with a Rabbit Beaver. Stay nerdy. Keep gaming, guys. Bye-bye.